Hello and welcome to Safety in the Market and our series where we take a look at the trade our students took each month and how they went with our coaching and our discussions on each trade. So for February, we took a short on the SPI200, which is the Australian indices market. So we'll have a look in here. This is our top that we were waiting for. It came in on Valentine's Day, the 14th of February 2025 at 85.81. We had, by the time we got here, because we were speaking about this for a few weeks beforehand, using our big time frame charts and then working our way down into as little as our 15-minute charts, we ended up with 17 reasons for this top to come in. So our students were well prepared for this top. And obviously, as prepared as we were, people will trade it in different ways due to their personality, okay, which is fine. So this is an intraday chart. It's a 1 hour chart of the 14th. Well, this is the morning of the 14th of February. This is late the night before. There are students who entered the breaking of the low of that bar there. We're probably all asleep during this top here, okay, but we woke up and the guys were ready. Now, that's a very aggressive entry and obviously puts you at a little risk that the market might go up a little further. But we have students and many students who are able to enter the market there short. Personally, I waited to get a little bit more control in my entry and I entered at the breaking of this bar down here. Okay, so this is the one I'm going to use for our trade example because I for one didn't get in up there. I missed that, but I was quite happy to then watch the market and wait for my sort of controlled entry at 85.17, which was at lunchtime Sydney time. Now, if we move into profit source as we speak, okay, here's a daily chart of the SPI200. There's our bar at the top. And we're just going to walk through what happened. And as we know, a lot of us were in on this day. Okay, a lot of us got in on this day. So next day down, okay, that outside bar there, another possible entry, okay. And then we're heading down and everything's going really well. Okay, so at this point, all right, so a lot of us are in. I'm calling this trade one here. A lot of people would wait and would get in down here at the breaking of this bar and would be happy to enter the trade at that point. This bar also gives us, using our methods, a means of finding out how far we think this particular range will travel. And at that point, and if I just carry on here a second, after these points here, we would then have a little cluster around 77, 67, 7773. And at that point, okay, when that information starts coming through, I'm a little cautious and I'll put my profit target at 77.80, just in case we don't quite get to some of these numbers down here. And I'm happy to get in and leave $1 for the next guy. Okay, so that's the target that I'll use when I'm trading. I always sort of round up a little. Okay, and as you can see, that was hit. We're going into March now, okay? But these two trades, trade one and trade two, were both entered during the month of February, okay? And I'll just bring you back inside. So we've hit our target. Like I said, I was 77.80, okay? And I'll just bring you inside here. Now, our first trade, that aggressive intraday trade that I took, had 22 points risk, and that's the beauty of us being able to get in intraday. We're not day traders, but we do like to try and get in intraday when possible, especially when we've picked a turn in the market. And then the reward in points was 737, which is a 33.5 to 1 reward to risk ratio. Now we've got our $5,000 account as standard. We would risk 5% as standard, $250. So 33.5 times that risk would give us $8,375. That was for the aggressive trade at the top, so to speak. The second trade further down the run, the risk would be 94 points, the reward 416, that's a 4.42 reward to risk ratio, and that would come out at $1,105. Just following up from our trade in February video, and I'm just going to add 2 more trades that we've taken since using that same setup and that same top. And I thought it would be interesting just to have a look quickly at how our students carried on trading from that top. We added a third trade with a profit of $2,000 and a fourth trade with a profit just under $2,000. So our total profit using 5% risk ended up over $13,000, okay, from that top on Valentine's Day. So I'll just quickly take you inside and show you how we added trade 3 and 4 to the list. So we had our target, if you remember, we had our target around these pink lines here from that top. Trade 1 was on that day. Trade 2 was on this day at the breaking of the low of that bar. And then there was a bit of a retracement, okay? And we were able then to measure that retracement. We will then measure runs back up into that retracement to find ourselves an entry, okay? There would have been students entering on the breaking of this bar during this outside bar here, going short again, having watched this retracement. Remember, this is a daily bar chart that we were using, okay? So some would have got in at the breaking. We've only just broken it. Some would have got in at that point. Then we head down. Okay, so those traders are happy. I'm just going to scroll us across there. So we've moved on from our last post, if you like. And then at that point, that would have been a more controlled entry into this next run down. So students would have got in on this big day here at the breaking of that low with their stop loss just above. Okay, so trade 3 in here. Trade 4 in here, not too much difference. And then the market starts heading down. And within a couple of days, look at it fall through. And the whole world was going crazy during these couple of days. But to us, the market's just following our learnings from David Bowden. And we were able to reach this target that we'd put up for ourselves that was using our rundown here to measure this rundown afterwards. And again, I had my profit target at 72.20 this time. Well, as I say, I like to round up just in case. All right, and that's where the market came down to, and since then has obviously run up again past that February top. But I just wanted to show you a follow on from that previous video where we had 2 trades from the top. It actually ended up being a 4 trade move. Now, not every student would have taken all 4 trades. Some would have, and some would have taken 1, maybe 2 of those trades. But as you can see, if we head back inside, we had our 2 trades in February, and then since then, trade 3 and 4. And there's our profit gained, over $13,000 if you took all 4. Obviously, not everyone would have. And that's just our rundown for trade 3. It was an 8.35 reward to risk. Trade 4 was a 7.46 reward to risk. Okay, so, you know, if you're not getting these sort of rewards to your risk, then maybe you have to realign your trading a little. But that's how we went in from that top in February during our coaching sessions and our communication in the forum. And our students were very happy with that outcome, as you would understand. So we'll see you next month. Well, we're already in March now because I've added to that video, and we'll give you March's trade very shortly. Thanks, guys. Good luck and good trading.